It is always so fun to raise your hand, pick me, don't pick me, and get into this place of massaging a new idea. I want to clarify this seeming disparity between unconditional love and developing a leading edge preference, I'll call it. In the sense that my life is Abrahamic, I'll call it, in that I'm fully aware of when I'm aligned, less aligned, in more and more subtle ways, and my life is so rich and fun and love-filled with wonderful, wonderful experiences. And there's a funny dichotomy that I love all the great stuff I have and wanting, and we've been talking about this idea amongst my friends and I about saying something more seems a little off because our life in North Carolina is fantastic and marvelous and beautiful.
Consider this. Let's just take the status quo. Let's just take your life in its tangible form as it has evolved. What if you developed superpowers to appreciate it?
Yeah.
What if you could smell the richness of it more fully than ever before and see the beauty of it more than ever before and taste it? What if your ability to perceive it is the leading edge? No more dichotomy, is there?
Yes, and so what's in my vibrational craw is that here in North Carolina, unanticipated creation is the humid climate. And it's a physical reality that have reached for some appreciation of at times. And that's what's in my vibrational craw that I'd like to create differently. Well, I suppose I could cause some sort of climate change. I suppose I really am that powerful, but I'm not.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be green and it would be a different place.
Yes. Yeah.
So in the awareness of what it is and in the appreciation of the beauty of it, isn't some of that which you are now deeming not so much appreciated, isn't it inherently necessary for something else about it that you are frequently appreciating?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the piece I appreciate. I understand the physical reality that I'm living is part of the whole package.
It's the path of least resistance to move to the desert. Is a path of least resistance to spend some time under the air conditioner. Is a path of least resistance to experience the diversity of the planet. In other words, what feels like the path of least resistance to you? Because there's no right or wrong in this.
Mm-hmm. I know in my heart that I'm already live in Southern California. I have this sense. And it's a comical thing for me who figures things out.
So what's stuck in your craw here?
It's the feeling like by my attention to the humidity.
How dare I be such a nitpicker as to want this thing that should be in the scope of everything insignificant when I have so much here.
Exactly.
Because it's the leading edge.
Yeah.
Because you can't stand still.
That's it. Creator's got to create, and that's the funny thing.
And holding to the perfection of what is will bring you eventually to a place of resentment because the leading edge, like the path of least resistance, is alignment.
Is alignment. Okay.
You get to have it all. You get to have everything that you want.
Yes.
And never root for standing still.
So that's the...
More is the mantra.
More and, yes, an expansion and excitement.
Other. Different. More exposure to more life. More opportunity to refine and define.
So is the path of least resistance to become enamored of a humid climate, even in air conditioning? I have bought expansive, top of the line air conditioners in my office building and where we live, but that's not, doesn't feel right. That feels off to me.
No, don't focus wheel yourself into liking to eat something that you hate.
Exactly. Right. That's when I feel like, I feel kind of embarrassed. Well, I'm embarrassed.
Allow yourself to experience the diversity and come to your personal preferences and give yourself permission to have the perfection of what you have preferred.
So as I appreciate where I am and find alignment and find alignment and find alignment and then, I imagine, and this is where I talked in Nashville before about that the leading edge gets manifested and created as I perceive it and take action and experience it, which is a thrilling, wonderful ride. I really understand the intertwining of, being in an emotional, vibrational place and finding the thoughts and emotions and taking the action and experiencing because I have such a great physical experience in life. And I don't know where the ideas are. It's kind of funny being someone who's bright and knows how to figure things out, to not be figuring things out about this transition to being in this other climate.
Yeah, because you've misunderstood what the receptive mode is.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
Because most humans think that you are to be in the creative mode, that you are to be the creator of your reality. Where have you heard that? And so how about taking the leading edge of that thought and saying, I am the receiver of the impulse of the creation of my reality?
That's how all this came about.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Well, let us put it this way. This is the real question that we are feeling from you. This is what it feels to us that you are asking. Is my appreciation for the richness of what is preventing me from moving to what I really want?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we were only talking about conditions, we can see why that squirrely thought would come to you.
Yeah.
But since what we're talking about, the path being, is the path to alignment, then we want to ask you, is appreciation ever the wrong path?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I get that.
So nothing is preventing you from moving forward to what you want. It may be that you are milking where you are for more vortexual content before you allow yourself to make the move, or it may be you are micromanaging your life more than you really mean to.
Well, I think that is very true. That is very true. I'm trying to get more general.
It may be that you're not trusting that there are many who have your back. It may mean that you don't really understand the content of your vortex. It may mean that you are ready to accept that what is hindering to what's coming.
So accepting, can I understand that better?
So be less conditional and more emotional. In other words, instead of talking about humidity or drier climate, talk about ornery or pleasant. Instead of talking about sticky skin or good feeling skin, talk about ease or tension.
Comfort.
Speak of comfort. Look for comfort everywhere you are. But it is emotional comfort that we wish for you to seek. Emotional comfort. Because in emotional comfort, your physical apparatus acquiesces to your environment in ways that are really, really satisfying. In other words, just give your physical body an opportunity to relish the atmosphere and without conditional judgment on your part. Seeking comfort rather than the specific details of how the comfort comes.
So I guess, and that's the kind of the quandary, is a sense of, if we reach for the emotion of feeling good, regardless of that condition, and also having a preference that it's in my vortex of having a different climate that I live in. And I do get to live in that climate a lot because I travel a lot. It's like that lady once you talked about who was missing her ex-husband, and Abraham said, well, focus on what you liked about your ex-husband. She said, I don't want him back. And Abraham said, well, no.
I don't even want to have lunch with him.
Yeah, it was the essence of it. And I was thinking, so what is the essence of this climate? But when
Comfort.
It's the feeling. It's a feeling piece. And as I stay in that alignment, then the ideas start to flow. Because some of them I have a whiff of how things will work out.
You ready to let yourself have everything you want? Do you think you are able to factor out how everybody else feels about it? You think that there are people in your environment that are acknowledging the perfection of what you live, that just think you're out of your mind to even think about walking away from that into something that is unknown?
Oh, maybe a few.
Maybe everyone you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you think you can give yourself permission to follow your path of least resistance? Give yourself permission to satisfy your heart's desire?
Yes, and so that's why.
Do you think you can have it all? Do you think you can have it all? Do you think you have to give up something for something, or do you think that the universe has the ability to give it all to you?
I have it all right now, and there's more to come. It's okay to have it all right now and want more, no matter what anybody, and even what I judge it
But
too.
you speak a flawed premise just
Yes.
a little bit, because you don't have it all because it's more humid than you want it to be.
Yes, okay.
So what keeps you from being willing to acknowledge that it could be better? That's the question that we hear from you. What's keeping me from selfishly, with gay abandon, just moving toward all things that I want? What is it?
Oh, is it a sense of responsibility, or I can't figure it? Responsibility.
Maybe responsibility, and maybe it's wanting to be of service to others who are perceiving you. Maybe it's caring too much about how others would fit into your new picture.
And it's also not the details. It also does seem like a bit of a foolishness thing to say.
There you go.
Foolishness that in a sense, one could say, yes,
Yeah.
I have it all, but I have it all.
Yeah.
This present reality is old news. That's old. That's
Don't
not
want
where
to
I am.
get more than your fair share of the pie.
Oh, and it's, yeah. And this whole pie that we created is fabulous and enormous.
And the pie is expanding.
And remember you told me once that the physical reality right now, although it's a leading edge, it's still old news. And it's okay to let it be. I'm trying to make peace with where it is, and then say, and I know that I have this other reality, other vortexual thing that I'm leaning towards, and it's trying to find that alignment with this making peace with what is.
Well, here's the thing.
Specifically,
You're working
I feel
too hard
good.
at this, and
Okay.
most of you do in this attitude of science of deliberate creation. It's like really wanting to get it right. And so here's what we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes. We would acknowledge the perfection of where we're standing, in other words, with appreciation. And we would get out of the attitude of trying to improve it in the sense that it's a conditional improvement, because everything that you're talking about here mostly is about conditions. Humidity certainly is a condition, and location certainly is a condition, and so many of the things that you were describing about the perfection of your life are conditional. Not all of them, but many of them. So as you, just for a little while, begin focusing upon the unconditional aspects of your life. So let us just ask you some questions. From where you stand right now, which is the only place that any question can ever be asked, which is the path of least resistance, which means which is more downstream, which means which feels the best, which is the most appealing, which is the most emotionally attractive to you, which feels better, sameness or more?
More.
Understood and safe or adventure?
Adventure. Whoops.
There's the little piece of it right there.
Yeah.
That's the little telling piece of it right there.
Who am I to have adventure?
Expansion or sameness? Now we're getting ridiculously easy in these.
Expansion, yeah.
New awarenesses or old securities?
New awarenesses.
Motion or stagnation?
Motion.
Faster motion or slower motion?
Faster aligned motion.
Faster the better in alignment.
Yes.
And so most people are accustomed to holding back the speed because they're not sure of the alignment. And so as you get sure of alignment, then you can let all the stops out and off you go.
Off you go, right.
And when we say working too hard and trying too hard, what we really mean is thinking too much about the conditions, when if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be thinking more about the emotion. We'd be thinking about the adventure of it, not the conditions of it. We'd be thinking about the elation of it. We'd be thinking about the excitement of it. We'd be thinking about the calling of it, the newness of it, the freshness of it, the thrill of it, the fun of it.
Okay, yeah.
You see what we're getting
Yes,
at?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you get into that emotional, unencumbered state, there's no question, is there?
Right, it's certain, it's a done deal. It's a feeling, when we get in that feeling place, it's a sense of knowing what you want and why you want it. And why we want it is because of how it feels. But we have to achieve that feeling now, to have the ideas, to be in the receptive mode, how to get where it's supposed to be. All right.
Perfectly said.
It has been it'll be a great adventure.
It is being fun.
It'll be fun. It'll
is
be
being
fun.
fun.
I want it to be fun. I want it to be fun and adventurous and new and fresh and exciting. And I feel that so much. And staying there is where all the ideas and the action come from. And yeah.
What you're experiencing is the discomfort of holding yourself back from something that you're ready for.
Okay. It's done.
The end. Something more. Oh, it's
That's it.
really good.